Putar. All right, so let's get started. Today we're talking about social media marketing, what it is, and what the real strategy, in my opinion, should be for developing relationships with potential collectors. And that's really the crux of the whole thing is like how do we develop relationships with our potential collectors and do that over socials in a consistent and repeatable manner. All right, so that's what we're going to get into, and I'm going to share my screen like always, and we're going to talk about, we're going to go over these notes. Share screen. Mm. Also, if you're watching, please say hi in the comments. That'll make it so that other people can see that this is happening. That's just how algorithms work. It's frustrating, but that's how it goes. And we'll go from there. I'm a little bit off of my rhythm because of the late start. So double check. What's up, Rakesh? Hey, Arthur, Jennifer. Hey, what's up? Welcome, guys. What you can also do is you can post a link to your Instagram because Ali, who's watching this right now, she's one of the coaches on the team. Luann and myself, we always go through these comments and make sure that everyone gets their questions answered. And then we like to go through and look at art because we're in the art world too, and it makes us happy. When we're tired, like I am right now, it's nice to go see something pretty. Um, that conversation I had with the collector that made me late for this event is just kind of blew my brain capacity out the door. So that's kind of where my head is at right now. All right, so we're going to talk about art marketing on social media and leave your comments and we'll circle back to those. So this conversation is going to go over parts of the selling on social, which is a module inside of Art Selling Art. And we're also going to go over the social media ad strategy guide, the SMAS, and probably part of the 90-day content guide, which is all parts of what's actually in the paid program in Art Selling Art. So I'll show you some of those if we have some time and how they apply or basically what you can apply from today to your process, to your systems going forward. Right. So what does it mean? So promoting yourself on social media and platforms like Facebook, like that's what I mean when I talk about art marketing. What I don't mean is selling your art, right? That's the next step. Like first you market, then you create leads, and then you sell your art. So we're not going to talk about selling our art today. We're going to talk about finding people who like our art and the process of getting people to basically know, like, and trust us. All right. So marketing is a comprehensive process that involves understanding your market and customer needs, right? Your market. So I should write your market in here because not every person out there who likes art is in your market. There's plenty of people in Tassa that I don't really like their art, right? I'm an art collector, right? We collect art in this house and especially on NFTs as well too. I don't like all of the art out there, but I am an art collector. So who is your market and what does your customer need? Which was basically the whole reason I was late today, because one of my collectors needs to understand what's happening in the digital space. He wants to be a part of it, but what does he need? And what I learned today is basically what I need to be telling all of my potential collectors who are remotely interested in the NFT space. Um, so creating a value proposition with your work and then communicating and delivering that value to customers. Like that's what's all encompassed in marketing your art. Not it's yes, you have to entertain, right? And show up, but you have to educate. And the education part, happens in uh part of the entertainment, but also letting people get to know you. So marketing is a broad, ongoing strategy. You don't just show up once and done and you're done marketing. You don't just make a post and you're done marketing. Marketing has a broader strategy. Today I'm going to post about me. Tomorrow I'm going to post about my process. The day after that, I'm going to post about how other people have received my art, and so on. So you have to have a bigger or broader strategy that encompasses the entire process of bringing a product or service to the market, right? So bringing your art and entertaining or developing your people, developing the culture around who you are and what you do, right? Nurturing, that's the word I was looking for, nurturing your customers. The primary focus of marketing is to create demand, and this is like textbook, right? The primary focus of marketing is to create the 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 trust in what you do and what you make. Because people, I think in one of my presentations, and I say this a lot, I think it's something like 80% of new buyers, and this document will be for anyone who wants to download it. 80% of new buyers um, purchased art from someone they knew, right? So it's not necessarily, I'm not talking about friends and family. I'm talking about people got to know you online, they became your friend online, and building and maintaining long-term relationships with customers is how we develop buyers who buy from us repeatedly. There's that one thing that someone in our group likes to quote a lot, the 1,000 engaged customers. Those 1,000 people, 1,000 true fans willing to give you $100 um, a year, right? That's 100 grand a year. And the thing is that the true fans will give you $100 year after year, and you want to develop those true fans. This is also called creating LTV, right? Lifetime value out of your people. And Valve, creating lifetime value, out of your collectors. And this comes from building a long-term relationship out of your people. And in order to do that, in order to build and maintain a relationship with your people, you have to take them on a customer journey. I mean, how many people have heard of customer journeys before? You could type a one in the comments. You could say yes. Um, you could be like, yeah, but I have no idea what it is. Uh, Let me know. So I'm just browsing really quick. LTV, LTV. I think there's a delay too, so I can come back to that. Um, the customer journey. So in this triple Venn diagram, and if you've seen this in the master class, so this is the same slide. This is the the crux of bringing people from stranger to loyal in your art business. And what I find is that a lot of people end up in one of these three traps. But let's talk about this first. So the customer journey starts with discovery. This is when people who don't know you are finding you. This is when you post content and Instagram or Facebook or Twitter shows it to 80% of the people, or 80% of the people they show it to are not your followers, right? Those are people who are discovering you, and then they follow you and whatnot. Recognition is when those people start recognizing that you're a business who sells a product, right? Um, I find that a lot of artists have a lot of resistance to the idea that you sell products, and you do. You sell a emotional product. You sell a product that, or you sell art, but in reality, when you are exchanging your art, it's a product. So recognition phase is when people start recognizing that you're someone that they can do business with. And then loyalty phase is when in the customer journey, those people who discovered you and recognized you're a business and recognize your art, they become true fans, and they become fans, and they engage with your stuff, they share your stuff, they talk to other people about your stuff. So this is the loyalty phase. What a lot of people do is they get discovered, they're out there, they're posting, they're sharing their stuff, they're showing up in front of their potential collectors, either by going to other groups or by showing up where your collectors show up online, um, and engaging with them, and then bringing them into their world. And uh, and then they skip recognition. They skip the part where they're like, hey, I'm a small business, look at my stuff. And they go to the loyalty. And what you get, that's trap three. So loyalty and discovery, where you have a lot of people seeing your stuff and they love the stuff, but they don't recognize that you're a buyer. So you get lots of likes and you get lots of looks and you get lots of shares, but you don't get sales. And there's members in TASA, there's other artists I spoke to that have tens of thousands of followers, hundreds of thousands, but don't sell any art, right? Because they're stuck between these two phases. Or you get people in the discovery phase and you start showing them your stuff. You're like, hey, new person, look at what I can do for you. Look at my new art. Put this on your wall. Buy this, buy this, buy this. And you get people who discover you and they recognize you're a small business, but they don't buy from you because they don't like you yet. They don't trust you yet. And this is where you get stuck with low conversions. A lot of this I see, is this chart in here? A lot of this I see is where artists are directly marketing to those people who are ready to buy. And those people who are ready to buy haven't gone through the customer journey and learned to like and get to know you. And they don't buy from you. They buy from the person they know, they buy from the person they've been following. So if you're just doing discovery and recognition, you end up with low conversions. And then this is where I was stuck for a long time. And I imagine a lot of you get stuck as well, where you have people who really like your work and they know you're a small business, but you're not bringing in new customers. So if you're just in this portion um, of the customer journey, if you're just focusing here and you're not getting discovery, which is again what everyone's complaining about because Instagram's not showing their stuff to everyone, then what you get is a growth plateau. You've made your sales, you don't have any new people to sell to. That's loyalty and recognition. And you have to be taking people through this whole journey, right? Getting new people in the pipe, moving them through recognition, and then bringing them into the loyalty phase. And it's this circular phase that brings you sales, right? When people have done all three of these, they bring you to sales. So your marketing has to include all three of these. So in Artist Selling Art, we have this planner that we give everyone. It's one of these links. And this planner gives you three phases repeated over time. So you have introduction, inspiration, engagement, and technique. So you have these three ways or these three strategies for engaging with people, for teaching people about you over 4 weeks. And then it repeats and you get introduction to, and you bring them a little bit closer to your heart, a little bit closer to the art so that they can get a stronger view, a more whole view of who you are. And then inspiration to, engagement to, technique to, and then again, you bring them in a little bit deeper. And the main strategy for Artist Selling Art is to bring people into increasingly intimate contact, bring them in contact with you by hitting them again and again with content that's closer to who you are. So increasingly intimate content. So if this doodle was another way of looking at the customer journey, the idea is to get them from highly skeptical to a high level of trust. And in between these two places are each one of these steps. Right? Let me check. Is there any questions in the chat? No? Let me revisualize the customer journey for everyone. So we'll slow down a second and we'll talk about it this way. I imagine that social media is like a mall, right? And the timeline that everyone spends their time on is basically the hallways. And each post they see is a storefront. So if you were walking down the mall and you had and you see all of these different storefronts happening around you, like flashing by, which on social media that happens in like the blink of an eye, right? Your job as someone who has one of those storefronts is to get people to leave the timeline and go into your world. And that could be clicking a link and going onto your website, or it could be pausing to watch your material and to read all of your content. And in order to do that, you have to keep showing up in front of people and giving them interesting content that will make them pause. And if you can't get someone to pause, then you're not going to get them to get to know you. Right? So when you're online marketing organically, you're selling the pause, you're selling the extra moment for them to get to learn from you. When you're online marketing with paid content, you're selling the click. right? You're getting people to click over to your website, to your article, to your blog post, to your whatever it is you're trying to get them to where they can learn more about you. In none of those instances are you saying, buy my stuff, right? Because first they have to get to know you. So the idea is to get them to pause first, and then maybe get them to click second, and then maybe third, they're close enough to you that they can, if they were interested, if they're a potential lead, they can have a conversation that will turn them into a sale, right? And that might be a 1, 2, 3 step, depending on your price point. That might be 10 steps between getting someone to know you, or getting someone to discover you and getting someone to know you. For instance, I'm having a conversation, an ongoing conversation with a potential collector right now, and he clicked on my ad when I was in Miami. I have to switch over to my business page. And this conversation started, scrolling up, on January 5th, right? And what's today? The 11th. So this conversation has been going for 7 days between him discovering my art and actually going to my website to look at something and choose something and then ask questions about it. And like so far, I've learned a fair amount about the guy. He's an architect. He works on restoring old buildings and blah, blah, blah. And he found a way where he can relate what he does to the type of art I create, right? This preservation of the past. And that's where he's found value. But it's taken him this time to get to know me before he can start thinking about actually buying something from me. And this is the process. So it's been like 4 or 5 different engagements over 7 days, maybe 3 or 4 engagements over the last 6 or 7 days to get him to this, probably right here. He's probably right here. So like on number 4, like 80% of the way to getting a sale. So marketing is getting those people into your world and then introducing them to increasingly intimate content until they know you well enough that they're willing to buy, right? So if your strategy and your posting and your the way you talk to people online has been, look at my stuff, buy my stuff, then you're missing the whole middle part. And you have to have a plan to get people through those different pieces in order for them to get to know you. All right. So journey begins on social media and then ends in 2 places. So I used to do this. I used to think that the sale ended on your website. But the thing about the sales environment and social media is that it changes, right? It's evolving. And I think that a lot of sales are happening straight through DMs without people going to your website or spending too much time on your website or conversing with you over email or phone. People are just talking in the DMs. Like my ads, I get people's phone number and instead of talking to them over text, I use text message to remind them that I'm talking to them on social media. So they go back to their messages and respond to me there. And that seems to be the way people are interacting with me. It's all through DMs, and then I send them to my website and they come back to DMs to talk. So depending on where your person is on the spectrum of, or where your lead is on the spectrum of how they experience social media, the journey begins on social and then ends either in your DMs or through email. But I think it's really important still that we have a website, that we have a place where people can go to that functions as our authority statement. All right, 7 principles of marketing. These people can go back and they can see, what do you do? What is your resume like? Do you have a professional presentation of your work? It says a lot about you, how your house is organized. So having your website is really important. But sometimes or often the actual sales conversation just goes through DMs. So online marketing strategy is, again, bring people from discovery through loyalty and through each one of these pieces. We can't skip any one of these or we're going to lose the sales. And that's what I have for you today. I think maybe our next presentation will be about the actual selling part. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? I started writing this and I realized that I was also talking about sales, and I needed to take a step back and say, we just need to talk about marketing, because we need to have leads before we can get sales. So we have to generate leads and then get sales. And that's what I got. So let me refresh this over here. Arthur says he agrees. He doesn't have a website for his 3D prints, but I'm part of a Facebook group, which is my niche. And everyone sees my posts from the printing process and asks to DM me. I've made a good amount of money just this past month through DMs primarily. I imagine that you lost a shit ton of money because you didn't have a place where people can go learn about you on the end. But yeah, DMs are super important. You know, when you have like a Facebook thread or your social media profile, and people visit it, they do a limited amount of scrolling and even less reading when they're just looking at like your history of posting. So they can learn a lot from just looking at the grid. Okay, so like Instagram.com/real Jason Matias. Like they can infer a lot from this. Right. So they can infer I do big prints, I look at art, I smile every once in a while. Right, but they don't get to learn about me, and they're not going to spend all that much time learning about me here. They're going to learn about me here and through any engagements we have online. So yeah, I think we need to have a website, especially depending on your price point. Tracy says, what are website hosting that I recommend? Um, Shopify has been getting pretty nice. Like I see a lot of artists with Shopify's now. I use Squarespace. I love Squarespace. I think it's got everything we need. It's customizable. It's got all the widgets and all the things that we need to develop our online presence. So that's my one recommendation. I feel like it's the most customizable and useful. And I just found out that they have print on demand on Squarespace as well. So you guys connected with Ali a bunch. That's pretty awesome. Um, we got about 5 minutes left. My brain's a little bit shot after my meeting with my collector today, so I think I breezed through that really fast. If you guys have any last minute questions, then I'm happy to spend a few minutes answering those. Arthur says he just started doing prints maybe 3 weeks ago with one printer, and I have made around $1,200. Um, Printing videos. I definitely need to get a website. Yeah, I mean, this is awesome. 3 weeks ago, $1,200. That's pretty awesome. Congrats, dude. We're next week. Yeah, sure. What should we talk about next week? So we did social media for marketing. We can talk about developing a brand. We can talk about pricing strategies. We can talk about website building. Luckily, I'm not too far ahead on making these. Art shows and presentations. We do have art shows coming up. Spring is around the corner. So we have spring and summer art shows. And I know a lot of TASA members are gearing up for art shows, so we can talk about that. And yeah, let us know in the comments. Do I think for recognition aspect that even adding something like stickers with your logo is a good idea? And putting them in the packaging? No, I don't think so. Having stickers at like an event, those are kind of fun to give out, but they go into people's bags and then no one ever sees them. It's like business cards. So I don't think too highly of them as a marketing asset. It's fun for the people who are interested, but that's all I see about it. I don't even give out business cards at shows. How do we get this document? Um, I'll print it to PDF and drop it to in Messenger, or Ali will drop it in Messenger to whoever wants it. So customer journey. I hope that helps a little bit, guys. And I think that unless there's any last minute questions, we can call it quits there. Where's my Zoom window? Thanks for everyone who said hello, and we will jump on next Thursday. Are we here next Thursday or are we in Arizona already?
Be here, so I get back the day before.
Okay, next Thursday. Chips. That was a super fast half hour.